What is up YouTube, and welcome back to another CZN video. And I just wanted to make this video because Yuki's banner is ending in about 4 days, as you can see, and 8 hours if we're being very specific. And I just wanted to talk about if she's worth going for, because a lot of people have mixed opinions about her, and I've tested her out pretty extensively on my account. I've run a ton of chaos runs. I've made quite a few different types of decks to see if she was, very good. And I'm gonna just share with you guys what I personally think about her and if she's even worth really going for. So if you guys were unaware, the next character that is pretty much confirmed is, or I guess it is confirmed, is going to be Chizuru. She's going to be a psionic character. This is her design, so if you're a fan of this design, honestly in this type of game, because every single character can work, you just want to basically pull for character design, if I'm being completely honest. Don't just pull for meta, just pull for characters you want to use. Me personally, I am a big fan of the design, so I'm definitely going to pull for this character regardless. But this is the banner after Yuki. So if you are debating whether to pull for Yuki or save your summons, well, this might sway you a bit because Chizuru's design might actually be more appealing to you. So that's what I wanted to talk about first. Now let's actually talk about her strength. So Yuki's a pretty good character. She is very good at AoE, but I will say she's not like the most broken character ever. And what I say in this video could change down the line, because the devs did say they want to give her a bit more strength in single target situations by changing some of her epiphanies, because currently the way she actually does single target is with this rapid slash, or with the flash slash. There's going to be an epiphany that is going to make it do single target, right? If you look at the fourth one here, this can make it do more damage for single target. It will not hit AoE anymore. So that's basically the single target build, and it's just really weird. You can also use Freezing Blade to make it so that you can do more single target with the third one. 99% of people are going to use her as an AoE damage dealer. There's some crazy builds I've seen with single target, but it's very hard to make it work. And Yuki as a character, even though she does good AoE, the thing is, a lot of the content right now is centered around single target. In fact, all of the hardest content is single target, right? If you're struggling with stuff like Judas, this is single target. Basin's AoE, but you can actually do this all with single target as well. I will say she's absolutely amazing in this version of Basin, because the ordered characters do extra damage here. So that is a plus side. But for the harder stages in the event and in the season, she falls flat right now. And I don't want to say she can't do it, but for Kentress and Family Head, she's not the best DPS, or like even in the top half to bring. You could still win with her, but it takes a lot more like deck building and specific builds. But in terms of her relative power level right now for Forbidden Catalysts, not that good in the Nebula Distortion, and in Chaos mode, she does suffer because she really needs to get her epiphanies to get going, unlike other DPS like Mei Lin, Veronica, Hugo, even Rin to an extent. So because of that, I don't really think she's a must-have. I think, she's a cool character. I'm a big fan of her design and how she plays. She's really fun with her Prepare to Subdue and with the drawing builds with like some other neutral cards. But in terms of power, not really the most important character to go for if you're looking for just like those meta picks. Also, a very annoying thing about her is it's just not really viable to play her, in my opinion, unless you have at least one dupe. Otherwise, your Iceberg Cleave card just has 20% less damage, just like randomly. I don't know why this is a thing. So it just makes her a lot weaker in AoE. Also, getting her to the second dupe is pretty important, because at the start of battle, you can see that this activates inspiration for cards of this unit for 2 turns. So if you draw into it, just with the natural drawing, you don't usually get this inspiration effect, which just makes her a lot stronger. But with that dupe, you're proccing inspiration for 2 turns. So it just makes her a lot better. So it just feels kind of bad, because without any dupes, she doesn't feel that strong. But I will say, with dupes, she looks absolutely cracked. Now, the core part about her kit is the inspiration, so you can kind of see why it's pretty important, right? If you start with this in your hand, this Prepare to Subdue, which I have 2 copies of, you ideally want 3. You don't actually get that extra attack card. And if you draw something like your Iceberg Cleave in Basin and you want to do AoE damage, well, you're missing out on half of the damage. In fact, you're missing out on even more than half, because if you don't have the first dupe either, you're getting minus 20% damage on this. So yeah, I think Yuki as a character, like I said, very fun. Does require crazy investment in terms of like deck building, because you need a lot of specific cards like Prepare to Subdue and what I like in Iceberg Cleave, but this one probably sucks unless you have one dupe of her. And also she really needs high potential, otherwise her damage kind of falls flat, because the way she plays right now, because she's like a very heavy AoE damage dealer, you're mostly going to use her in Basin, so you have to kill very fast in the time limit. If you use her in single target, you still have to kill very fast because her damage overall is going to be lower than other single target dedicated characters. So you do need to kill pretty fast, otherwise those Nebula Distortion bosses will start ramping out of control. So I know I've been speaking a lot about her, but essentially what I want to say is, in terms of power level, I don't think she's a bad character. Like I said, I think she's like, actually like her balance levels, her power levels are perfect for the game, because it doesn't power creep anything like intensely, and also she's not like entirely weak. I think people do over hate on her because they thought that the first banner would be a super powerful character, and she looks pretty waifu, right? But I think in terms of power level, she's a pretty solid character. Nothing super OP, but like not like so bad that you can't use her at all. So just in case people actually think she's still absolutely terrible for some reason, when she's not, I will be showing you guys how she can actually work in the first wave of Basin. And she actually is with Owen, who's going to have 0 cards in his deck. And when you have this setup with Owen, not with Owen, with any character with Yuki, you're gonna see that she's absolutely cracked, because she keeps drawing into her cards, especially with like Veronica. So it's kind of like a way to make her even stronger. You're gonna see that we'll be able to kill this first wave in 1 turn pretty easily here. Of course, mine does have 1 dupe, so the Iceberg Cleave is doing 20% more damage than it usually would. Haha. Don't know why that's a thing. But you can see right away, first wave is dead. And depending on her draws here, we should be able to kill the second wave as well. So I can draw like this, and get Prepared to Subdue. I can draw like this, get some AP. You can see we have another Iceberg Cleave, should do a decent amount of damage. I think I will do this here. Another Iceberg Cleave, okay. There we go. And you can see we kill the first wave in 2 turns, so that is Yuki. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video though, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think that she's a must-pull character for new players, or if you think that she's not. I personally think if you skip her banner to wait for Chizuru or another character in the future that's been leaked through speculation, then you're not going to really miss out on much, but she's a fun character. Actually the most fun character, in my opinion, for me. So thank you for watching, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.